Steve Thurman here with Forward Financial. I have the pleasure of having a brief interview here with Calin Culianu, a ROCKSTAR developer for the BitcoinCash node. We've spent all day at the Ron Paul barbecue in Lake Jackson, Texas. Had a phenomenal time. Great being in the same room with a lot of liberty-minded individuals. We gave out 150 cash stamps. Celine cash stamps, very well received by everyone. So I just wanted to get a few minutes here with Calin. It's been a long day. I know you're tired. So thanks for this. If you can, I have a lot of questions just about how things work under the hood. And essentially, BitcoinCash doesn't work at all without the node. It's a very, very crucial, obviously, aspect of the network and this technology. So best you can explain to us, like we're five, what exactly it is that you do, what the importance of it is. I know there are, at one point, there were 6 different BitcoinCash nodes, and you work on BCHN, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of an introduction, if you would, and humor us. People that aren't so skilled in this area and knowledgeable about the BitcoinCash node and what you do on it.
Okay, so BitcoinCash is a cryptocurrency, and pretty much all of them are run in a peer-to-peer network. All the cryptocurrencies are like this. And so the peer-to-peer network, what are the peers? The peers are these nodes. It's a piece of software. You can run one on your computer, a node software. A piece of node software, and they reach out on the network and they talk to each other. And so sort of like a BitTorrent kind of scenario. I guess you would call it a gossip network. That's the kind of network it is. So the node is just a piece of software you would install on your computer if you want to participate in the network, if you want to receive transactions, if you want to mine, you would need node software. So it's the peer-to-peer software that runs the network. Like really, this is what a cryptocurrency is. It's a network, it's a peer-to-peer network, a gossip network. And transactions get sort of shared to the whole network. Like that's why it's called a gossip network. Like if I send a transaction, like everybody hears about it eventually. So that's the gossip aspect of it.
Which is crucial for decentralization as well.
Yes. So it's like sort of like a fractal. Like each node has the whole, but the whole, it's like repeated the way fractals are. And that's like a decentralizing thing, right? So, but yeah.
So at one point there were 6 different versions of this node software, correct? Now you're saying there's only 4 and you only work on the one. Why is that? Why did you choose BCHN? What's the differences? Is there nuances between the 6? If you can elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, I can. So originally Bitcoin was written, so BitcoinCash forked from Bitcoin in 2017. So we go back with Bitcoin with its history. So originally the only node software was the one written by Satoshi. It was just called Bitcoin. And some people refer to it as the Satoshi Bitcoin. And that evolved over time. So that's one piece of software that has a code base that goes back to 2009 or 2008 or whenever Satoshi started working on it, probably 2008. And so we inherited that whole code base. Like BitcoinCash forked from Bitcoin Core, what's now Bitcoin Core software. It's the same software that goes back to Satoshi, but we forked from them. Like we don't use their code base anymore, but we have the same source code that we started with in 2017 that was Bitcoin Core. So like we come from that line, basically, that lineage of software. And on BitcoinCash node comes from that lineage, the Bitcoin Core lineage. Other node software decided to start stuff from scratch. They're like, we're not going to go with Satoshi's code, Satoshi's original code. We're going to re-implement like the rules of BitcoinCash from scratch. Either there's one node, Bitcoin Verde. They decided to write a whole Bitcoin node in Java from scratch. There was BCHD, which is written from scratch in Go. There's a Knuth node, which is a C++ implementation. BitcoinCash node is also C++, and that was written from scratch as well. But yeah, the one we're working on, BitcoinCash node, has that lineage. Like it goes back to the Satoshi.
So the client. N in BCHN is just BitcoinCash node.
Yeah. And it was originally the one. It was called Bitcoin ABC. And there's sort of a history with that where like we sort of forked from Bitcoin ABC in a way.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
And yeah, and we renamed it to Bitcoin Cash node, but then it's like the same code base as Bitcoin ABC, which is the same code base as Bitcoin Core. Like the lineage, it's sort of like animals evolving. But yeah, I can't talk about that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm being a little bit vague here. Maybe I'm just tired, so I'm speaking in.
Understood.
I'm speaking in kind of.
We'll take
circles.
whatever we can get, man.
Yeah, I apologize. So I hope that made sense. So yeah, Bitcoin. So node software, like Bitcoin Cash node, sort of goes back to the Satoshi client and its lineage, and it's kind of the same code base that's evolved over time.
Give us a little bit of the backstory, if you would, of
Bitcoin ABC or with
yes, ABC to BCHN now.
Yeah. So the first. So the first people that really wanted to fork so there was that whole block size war, there was that whole frustration where it felt like Bitcoin Core devs were sabotaging what we thought Bitcoin would be.
2014 to 2017-ish.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Right. So there was that whole thing where half the community, or what seemed like half, looked like they lost their minds because they were talking about small blocks. I think even initially it was just a few people that were talking about just no, we can't grow the block size. Everyone seemed to be like, no, we got to grow the block size because we want to become like a global payment network. Like we want this to replace fiat. Like you should be able to buy your coffee with Bitcoin. Right. So that that got really heated, and then at one point in 2017 it was decided like we should fork. The Bitcoin people the Bitcoin Core, like small blockers, wanted to activate SegWit, and the big blockers, as they were called back then, didn't want SegWit. They felt that was just a technical debt, and so there was this deadline, oh my god, if we don't fork in 2017, SegWit's going to activate. And I could talk more about SegWit. So
we could go down a million rabbit holes here.
I feel like there's so many tangents here that are possible. So maybe I should stick to one thing. So you asked
talk to us a little bit about Bitcoin ABC, Amaury's role in that split.
So Amaury showed up and he's like, let's just fork this, and Free Trader was involved and I was involved in that.
You were the three original devs that
worked on Bitcoin ABC, which is we took Bitcoin Core, we ripped out SegWit, and we made it so that it can support 8 megabyte blocks at that time. And then we're like, let's just fork Bitcoin, and there was miner support for it, there was funding, and miners decided they're gonna mine this new coin, because when you fork a coin like Bitcoin, you need some hash power to advance the chain. Sure. So that was Bitcoin ABC was the first fork of Bitcoin Core, and that basically was the number one piece of node software that everyone installed at the time to run the Bitcoin Cash network, to operate the network. It was called Bitcoin ABC back then.
Was the switch to BC?
And ABC stood for adaptive block capacity or something.
Okay. And was the rebrand to Bitcoin Cash node, was that just simply a rebranding, or was there a change there as well?
There was a change. So Amaury was sort of he anointed himself the leader of Bitcoin Cash, and he became increasingly dictatorial about how Bitcoin Cash runs. It really became very centralized. It was all about him. He was a very pushy person, Amaury Séchet, who ran Bitcoin ABC. Bitcoin ABC still exists now, but they run another chain. So yeah, he became increasingly dictatorial, and then sort of everyone revolted against them. We're like, we don't even need you, dude. Why do you want to be a dictator? Yeah. So we took the Bitcoin ABC code base, renamed it Bitcoin Cash node, and began maintaining it from there.
Did you change anything in that process?
A lot. It's evolved so much
now,
since then.
But at the time, was it just a rebranding at the time, or did you actually change things to make it?
So at the time we rebranded it. Initially it was identical. The first day was identical. We just rebranded it. But we're hey, we got to convince miners to run this. How do we compete with Bitcoin ABC? Yeah. We want to give miners some reason to run this. So we worked on optimizing mining. We made some things in mining 1 millisecond faster. When you get when you ask for block template and it returns a result 1 millisecond or 50 milliseconds faster. We optimized. We wanted to compel miners. Already miners were kind of skeptical of what Amaury was trying to do. Amaury was trying to change the network rules to pay himself a tax. 8% of every block reward goes to him. Yeah. He did this unilaterally. He's just he's the European Union or something. He's Ursula von der Leyen, she's unelected and does stuff unilaterally almost sometimes. He was just like this. He's hey, I'm going to give myself 8% on the chain. And the next version of Bitcoin ABC is going to have this new network rule. So we're no way. So we got rid of that. And then, but miners weren't really aware of what was going on. Some of them were well, Amaury runs Bitcoin ABC from our point of view. We're just going to run his software. We're no, don't do that. Run our software. Look, you're going to get faster block template responses. So when you're mining, you're losing fewer milliseconds per, like, get block template call. And then we implemented this other thing called get block template light, which is even faster. And so miners like, oh, you know what? We'll run your code. It seems like it's faster.
For miners, they're going where the money is essentially, and how to, I guess, most quickly mine that block. And was that your argument, I guess?
Yeah, well, we wanted to spark yeah, I mean, so the difference like in the calls wasn't enough for them to, like, it wasn't like they're going to make like millions of dollars a year difference or something. Like it was more like it gave them confidence that there's like our code is a little bit better because it runs faster.
You made a compelling argument.
It made a compelling argument, like, all right, we should install, we want to install your software because we don't like the idea of the tax. Like Amaury wasn't doing a good job of convincing him why he should collect the tax money. Sure. He's like kind of screwing that up politically. Yeah. And then so they're like, okay, but is your node software like good in any way? Like, let's see what, how it compares. Like, at least is it a little bit faster or something? And they would install it, and they're like, oh yeah, it came out a little bit faster in our benchmarks. Okay, I guess you guys are doing a good job. Like, it was like it was like a quality thing, It's like, oh, it's faster, so then it must be better quality. Because for miners, like speed does matter. Like in terms of software, like they perceive everything about time, like how much time am I wasting and not mining? Yeah. And to them, that translates to quality, like psychologically. But I don't think in dollars and cents it made that much of a difference. I think it was more like just a quality perception thing. Like it's a little bit faster, and they're not going to charge tax. They seem like they know what they're doing. They got their act together. I think that's what it was at the time, really. And I hope that that's clear. But yeah.
So you're ongoing now. You continue to work on BCHN. What are the best you can share? What are the tweaks that you're making? Is this something that you are working on continually, or are you waiting for consensus and chip proposals to be approved and then you make the change? Or is this stuff, are you constantly tinkering under the hood with this?
Not constantly. It's very like up and down. Like sometimes it'll be very intense, like a few months at a time of constantly tinkering, and other times it'll be very slow. Like right now, I'm like one of my main responsibilities is to keep track of like if there's like security holes that are known, like in Bitcoin Core, and to see if we have the same ones. Since we share the same code base with Bitcoin Core, some of the vulnerabilities they have, like we might have. So I monitor that currently, but or if there's new chips being proposed, then yeah, I'll be working for a while on them, and then like I'll finish them, or like someone else in the team will finish them. And then we're like, we sort of wait around to see if there's consensus for this chip. And then
who else works on BCHN with you?
There's Fernando Pelliccioni. There's Andrew128. I don't know his last name. He's like, he's kind of anonymous. There's Dagger I forget how to say his.
The Shadow Wizard.
Yeah, the Shadow. Yeah, it's late, and he's got like a Viking last name. So right. He's Dagger the Viking. Yeah, I met him. He's really tall.
I didn't know he worked on BCHN. I didn't realize that.
He does. Yeah.
Okay.
He does, and he does a lot of stuff. He wears a lot of hats.
Those Norwegians, man, they're badasses.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah. So yeah, and a bunch of other occasional contributors. There's Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's up and down. Like, it's not like every day I'm working on it.
Sure.
Like, sometimes I have stuff that I'm keeping in the back of my mind that how to implement certain things. Like I wanted to work on UTXO commitments more, and sort of like a lot of it is just like mulling it over in your head, and then you sit down to code later. Like
shower thoughts.
Yeah, because you really want to have like an idea of what the design should be. Because it's different than other software. Like in other software projects, you would just write a lot of code, and then some of it might be buggy, or you figure it on unit tests. Like with this is like financial software, so it has to be really clean and like like you minimally you don't mess with it too often with like some of the core parts of it. So you want to be really careful there. So it's more of it like a lot of forethought. It's a different kind of coding than like most things. Sure. It's not about volume of code production. It's more like a lot of forethought in what you're gonna do.
Quality.
Yeah. Really, because it's financial software. Like, you can't have bugs. You can't. It's like you have to be really careful. Like, write good unit tests. Like, really understand. Like, sometimes when I do commits, like I'll like read over the same code like 20 times. Like, I'll stop and I'll leave. I'll do something else, and like I'll think about every line of code, because like that's the really thing. Like, you can't have like any errors in there. Yeah. So like it's very careful kind of work. So I don't know. That's just the way I work. I don't know how other people work. Fantastic. But I'm really like I really go over every line like multiple times.
It's awesome.
It can be kind of insane. So like like you might spend like a couple of days writing code and then like a week reviewing your own code before you even show it to other people. And then like other people look at it and, you know, hopefully they don't find bugs, or if there are bugs, hopefully they find them. So far, we haven't had anything major, awesome. You know, knock on wood, but yeah. So, I mean, the work is more like planning, coding, and then like a lot of review, like a lot, just really careful. Like
testing, and obviously this is stuff that you test thoroughly before actually pushing it.
Yeah. Testing, and even before testing, just like read the code over and over again and think about it, and then write tests. Yeah.
To that point about tinkering, it seems like lately I've gotten some pushback from BSVers that say we tinkered too much. You know, it's not Satoshi's original design. One thing that has come up lately for me is CTOR. Can you go into that at all as to why that chip was pushed and what his benefit was?
I mean, honestly, the benefit was so minimal and not necessary.
So you think they're majoring in minors when they point this out?
I think CTOR was more like a humiliation ritual or like a psychological game. Really, like I really do.
Can you elaborate?
So, you know, like Amaury was like more and more. Amaury is the one who really pushed CTOR. He was really keen on it, and sort of the people around him, and like there was the Nchain people, the BSV people, who were like, why, you know, we don't need to do CTOR, because like the reason for CTOR is you need like some sort of canonical ordering to like optimize graphene, which is like this block propagation technology that like no one's using right now anyway. But it's like a block propagation technology that's a little bit faster than the one we have now, which is called compact blocks. And so if you have some canonical sorting, or like some way to sort the block, like you get a little bit of a speed up with that. It's like this kind of theoretical thing, like that doesn't matter currently at all.
So it has no real impact.
Right now, no. It's like this kind of thing of like thinking about some kind of abstract perfection, like mathematical beauty in the future. Like it really does not matter today.
So the argument of you changed Satoshi, hence their Bitcoin Satoshi's vision. You changed Satoshi's vision by
with CTOR, for example.
CTOR, yeah. So is that just unfounded or baseless, or?
Yeah. Well, so I guess with the BSV people, they're all about Satoshi's vision. What is it? Let's define it. You know, let's think about deeply. What is Satoshi's vision? Right. Well, this is how we conceive of it. I mean, it becomes like a religious thing, right? So it's like in their minds, like, you know, like a Sunni Muslim and a Shiite Muslim disagree about, I don't know, something. An Orthodox Christian and a Catholic will disagree about like how you do your cross with your hand. I don't know. Like with BSV, like I feel like their whole thing is like, what was Satoshi's intention? And like, let's like respect that in some religious way, right? So yeah, I can see why they would say like, oh, you guys screwed up because you guys now sort the blocks.
It's some kind of ridiculous purity test almost.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, yes. So we now in BitcoinCash we sort the block. Like the block is sorted by TXID. Which Bitcoin Core doesn't do this, like the original Bitcoin didn't. Bitcoin Satoshi Vision doesn't do this. It was the reason why like the BSV people split from BCH. Like this thing about, because Amaury was like, we want to sort the blocks, they have to be sorted, and the BSV people were like, dude, we don't need to sort them. Like that actually breaks a lot of things. It breaks a lot of existing software. Like your arguments suck. Like why do you want to sort them? And Amaury's like, no, it's better. And I think Amaury was happy that like the Nchain people that were sort of, they forked away. They went to their own chain, and like so he had less people like disagreeing with him. Yeah. Like I really think it was about getting all the people to disagree with Amaury. If it was up for me, we wouldn't have CTOR. But like now it's like too late. Like we can't undo it. So I mean, we can undo it, but it's like every time you do like a really big change like that, like you sort of create disruption. So undoing it now, like we'll have a segment of the chain that's sorted, but the rest of the chain isn't. And then we have to upgrade. Now we have to do an upgrade to undo that upgrade. Oh, yeah. It seems like it would just create a lot of confusion and chaos. And CTOR does have some theoretical advantages in the far future. Like for this graphene technology, when blocks get super big, like it starts to pay off a little bit.
Gotcha.
So like, you know, it does have that minor. It wasn't worth the cost paid to have it. Now that we have it, we should like use it. In the future, it'll pay off. Gotcha. It wasn't worth the cost. I don't think we should have CTOR. We shouldn't have had it, but we do now. So it's like, I don't know.
Not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I wouldn't go to the trouble to uninstall CTOR to undo it. Gotcha. Because it does have some benefits, and we already paid the cost to have it. So why pay cost again, like to undo it, and then like you don't have the advantages of it anymore. So
sure.
Yeah.
I want to be mindful of your time. I know it's late.
Yeah, no, I'm getting excited now that we're talking about my favorite subject. So. I actually got animated. If you want to ask, like, if you want, make this longer.
You share whatever you want. You share whatever you want. If you could kind of touch on some of the chips that are going through the consensus process, what you're excited about, what you're looking forward to. Is there anything that you are pro or against with these chip proposals coming up? I think we've got 2 in 2026, and then three, and then oh, that's right, and then 1 potentially for 27.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on that a little bit and share?
Yeah. So for 2026, what's on the table now is which one do I talk about first? Yeah, loops. Okay, loops, functions, and pay to script, P2S. Loops add to the virtual machine code, to the script code for contracts. You can then now do loops, which before you couldn't. And I gave a talk at BCH Bliss this year about what that means exactly. Right. But you couldn't do loops before because there was no way to constrain the virtual machine's execution, and now there is. So you can loop, and then it'll just terminate the script if it's looped for too much. So you're not going to get like infinite loops or anything. You just terminate it. Like, oh, you've been executing for too long. Like you looped like 20 times you're not supposed to, or whatever. So loops are safe. So but loops make programming a lot easier. Like you just
that's what I'm asking for.
Yeah.
Take your geek speak if you can.
Yeah.
And make
it. Sorry, it's like I'm on my own head about this stuff.
No,
it's
fine. It's fine. I want to make it. No. I want to make it translatable to the layman. How does this directly impact? What are things that we will be able to do with these chips in the future for the average individual that is not as knowledgeable in depth on this subject? So
so with these chips, so with loops, with functions, and with P2S, it unlocks the smart contract capabilities of BCH. It'll be like the single most sophisticated UTXO-based smart contract chain. Like awesome. it'll be Cardano or whatever other UTX. Like it's just you can write like Ethereum level complexity in contracts on BCH on a UTXO chain. Awesome. It'll be like it completely unleashes the script engine, so you can do like really good smart contracts. So it'll open up like DeFi possibilities and stuff like this, probably, and maybe some sort of privacy features as well. We're hoping, where you can do like really cool privacy transactions on chain. But we don't want to talk about that too much because I'm not like an expert cryptographer, so I don't this is what I hear from
that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, it's another can of worms. I don't work on that.
And for 27, there's been I think a potential chip proposal for minimizing the block time.
Yeah, reducing the block time. Yeah, from 10 minutes.
What are your thoughts on that? I listened to Jomar's recent episode on the BitcoinCash podcast, and he seemed to think it was either overkill or unnecessary with SPV. He just seemed to think that it wasn't something that should be focused on right now. What are your thoughts and perspectives on that?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I mean, it's like it's not going to make much of a practical difference in terms of like the chain security or like fundamental properties of the chain. It's not going to make like too much of a positive difference. It's more of like just a user experience perception thing. Like, oh, the blocks are confirming so quickly, I don't have to wait. It can make a difference. So if you have faster block times, if you're doing a lot of smart contract stuff where there's a lot of UTXOs you're juggling for your smart contract, it makes a difference for that because they sort of get an idea of what the actual UTXOs are every minute. This is an issue for like a site that does like a lot of a website that does a lot of smart contract stuff on BCH would probably benefit from faster block times. So it does make a difference for people like that, people that are worried about smart contract stuff.
What are the downsides to I guess comparing this to something like Caspa or Nano with instant confirmation? Is there downsides to that scenario in a UTXO chain like BCH, or is that something that's even possible? Is it something that Is it something we can compete with them against, so to speak, or for lack of a better way of saying it, or proposing this question? Yeah,
I mean, for the way BCH is architected, all you can do is just have like shorter and shorter block times. It's just the way the architecture is. I mean, so the block time stuff, like it might be risky. Like there might be unknown unknowns, like with it, like where you end up getting chain splits where you weren't expecting to. Like I don't know. Like so the thing about the 1 minute block times, I think it's kind of cool, and I would love to see it. I just want to do more due diligence on it, like really make sure that it's not going to create any problems.
Sure,
that's all.
So it's just a matter of putting in the work.
Yeah. For me, it's like from my point of view, as long as it creates no problems, we should probably do it. Just I don't know.
Gotcha. Anything else that you would propose, or things you've been ruminating on, or ideas that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I would like at some point to have UTXO commitments on the chain, which helps. This will help. It's like a scaling thing for the future, where you don't need to download the whole chain to like figure out what the accounts are for everybody now, like what the UTXOs are for everybody now. You just you hit the ground running. Like you download a few gigabytes, which is the UTXO set.
Is this kind of the pruned nodes scenario?
It's related because you kind of, if you want to do like the proper, it's related. It's related. Okay. Yeah, like because if you want to run like a prune node, you would, and you don't want to have to like download the whole chain. You could like run a prune node that starts from today and just. Yeah, it's related to pruning. Yeah, and then the two things kind of like, yeah, you'd want to do pruning differently than we do it now anyway. That's a different thing. I feel like I'm being really vague.
No, it's fine.
And I feel like we have like time constraints. So
there's no time constraint. We can go as long as you want here. As long as people want to continue to listen in, that's their prerogative. They can tune out whenever they want.
What I'd like in consensus eventually, and I think it's necessary. I think have UTXO commitments in like the Coinbase transaction or something.
Is that something you've proposed in Bitcoin Cash research?
It's been proposed in Bitcoin Cash research by the Bitcoin Verity people. Okay. And they have like a good proposal for it, and it probably needs to be changed a little bit, but it's their approach is very good. They figured out how to share the UTXO set on the peer-to-peer network. They worked that out. They worked out how to compute the UTXO commitment. Like there's a lot of work that's been done on it. Just more momentum has to be done on figuring out, okay, when are we going to activate this as part of consensus, and how are we going to do it, and on what date, and and there's some dev work that needs to be done around that as well. And I would like to see that someday. I think it's critical.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because then let's say imagine we have a blockchain that's like terabytes and terabytes because we've succeeded and the world is using Bitcoin Cash. You don't want everyone that's transacting that wants to do like on-chain stuff. You don't want them to have to download the whole blockchain to get to the present moment to start transacting. Like that could just be impractical for some. Like you want to be able to just hit the network like, and within a few minutes you can like validate transactions, and that's what UTXO commitments give you. Like, because right now, like the paradigm is, you got to download from block 0, and then you got to play the chain forward to the present day to get to the current UTXO set. Sure. Like that's kind of silly. Right. You can just download the current UTXO set. Right. And then you can start transacting.
Right. You've got some figures out there.
But you need commitments for that, otherwise you don't know if it's valid. But sorry.
Well, yeah, and some people out there get really hung up on this. What you're just describing, Eric Voskuil being one. I don't know if you're familiar with him and what he's doing with LibBitcoin. So his whole shtick is that you can't verify it unless you go all the way back to the beginning.
People that present this argument, it's like, what, dude, you don't believe in cryptography? Right. Like this is a cryptographic proof right there.
Right.
Like that's just like, that's, if you make that argument, you can't verify anything because you don't believe in cryptography. Right. Like, I don't understand this. I don't understand these arguments.
Yeah, I don't either, but to each their own, I guess.
I mean, some portion of the network will have gone from the beginning and they will never accept like a minor. His argument is just like it's kind of smoke and mirrors about like I sometimes believe in cryptography and I sometimes don't. It's really that it boils down to that. Like wow. I've seen arguments against it. I don't buy them. I don't know. Maybe I'm not steel manning his argument well. Maybe I have to listen to what he has to say in more detail. But that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to share? Again, we can talk as long as you want. Anything you want to share? Things you're working on, or anything for the community?
Well. Yeah, I mean, right now, what I'd like to, and it's not like a big thing. It's like the Bitcoin Cash node wallet, which is actually used by exchanges to, like a lot of exchanges that support Bitcoin Cash stuff, they use just the node wallet. Like they don't bother implementing their own wallet in their own software. They just tell the wallet, hey, I want to send Bitcoin this way, Bitcoin Cash this way, I want to do this. And so that currently our code base doesn't support cash tokens. Like in the wallet on the node, like you can't tell the node, hey, I want to send 15 cash tokens of this token type. Like the wallet, the RPC, like the stack doesn't know how to do that. And we want to add support for that so that if we add cash token support to the Bitcoin Cash node wallet, we'll probably get more centralized exchanges supporting cash tokens. So that could bring some interest into the ecosystem. Sure. So that's something that needs to happen soon, and we're working on that. But this is sort of like it's not like a big consensus rule upgrade. It's just more like it's just a feature in the software we provide.
How does that get decided? What? It's not like every little thing that's done is proposed and struck down. Is it? I mean, there's some nuance there with chip proposals and what you're upgrading ongoing. Is it everything is you're deciding every little aspect of an upgrade before doing it? I'm not asking this question
for an
properly.
Upgrade.
Yeah. Well, I know for an upgrade, it's got to go through consensus and all that. But is there minor things that can be tweaked along the way that don't require full consensus? Or
yeah, I mean, so with the chip process, it's more like network-wide consensus rules.
Yeah,
that like all the other node software would have to also implement.
Sure, because it's actually changing.
Yeah, it's changing like what we agree upon, like as is reality. Like what are the rules of reality for this coin?
Right.
So yeah, that has to be like agreed upon by everybody at a time, thought about really well, specified really well.
Yeah.
And then like while you're implementing it, maybe some people that are implementing it come up with like, oh hey, this is kind of a dumb rule. Maybe we should make it this way. And then I mean, so while you're implementing it, you can go back and revise it as long as it's not like fundamental, So that's with consensus rules in the chip process. But there are other kinds of changes just to the Bitcoin Cash node software itself that don't really involve the whole network.
That's what
it's not a consensus rule. Like it doesn't. It's just the way our like Bitcoin Cash node itself operates in some way. Like if we want to optimize something or add a feature that doesn't concern the consensus rules, then there's no necessarily chip process for that or anything. Like it's just like.
Make the change.
Yeah, we make the change to our code base. It doesn't involve other node software or like the network rules, like other node implementations like Verde or Flowy or whatever. They can do whatever they want with some aspects of their software that we don't care about, like their database format. Like that's not our business. That's just the way they happen to write data to the disk, right? So, or in Bitcoin Cash node, like the way our wallet software provides features, that's not like that doesn't concern the whole network. It's just like. I don't know. Yeah. So there's two kinds of changes, right? So like the chip ones are the ones that are more formal and require a lot of thought, which are consensus rules usually. And and just changes to just Bitcoin Cash node are not, just like minor details they're not like necessarily the concern of everybody.
It's not crucial and imperative for everyone to be involved.
Because it doesn't affect them. Like if Bitcoin Cash node like optimize some code path to be like 50% faster or not, it doesn't like create externalities. Like it doesn't impact anybody else necessarily in a negative way. Like or but whereas if Bitcoin Cash decided it doesn't want to pay attention to certain consensus rules, like that would be a problem. Because then you'd have like a chain split. Like if you're running Flowy or something or like Bitcoin Verde or Newt node, like you get forked off the network. So you have to agree about the network rules. But like implementation details of each node, that's. So okay. I hope I made that clear. I think I felt like I repeated myself 3 times. But
no,
sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's late, man. Like we've been at this Ron Paul thing all day, and it's been so much fun.
I know it has. Well, in closing, anything you want to just share with the community or anything you want to say? We'll let you get on with your evening, and I do appreciate your time for sure.
It feels great to be participating in freedom money, like in actual sound money that has the potential to get bigger and bigger and be used by everybody. So it feels good to be participating in that and to be fighting that fight. And I think a lot of the problems we have, like even at this Ron Paul thing, like everyone was talking about, like end the Fed and we need sound money. Like it really is the root of so many problems that we have.
It is. I say it all the time. I think there's nothing
in the world.
There's nothing more negatively impactful, in my opinion, than state monopolized control of fiat currency, because it affects so many aspects of our lives the world over. So I'm right with
even
you.
It's not even state monopolized. It's like private. Like these guys are private banking cartel. Like
well,
the Federal Reserve. Like it seems like they're the boss of the state sometimes. I don't even know. That's a side conversation. But I don't even know.
I would agree.
Like as bad as state monopolized is, this isn't even. It's like worse. It's like
it's the Scooby-Doo character. The state's the mask, and then you pull the mask off and you see who's really.
And then the banker is behind the mask.
Exactly.
Like the state is just like who. Like it's just there so we can blame the state and get mad. And then the bankers are sitting in the dark. Like nobody's blaming them. I mean, but definitely agree with you that the fiat currency system is insane. It's like such an abusive system. So it feels good to be a part of something that's trying to stop that. And I think Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin. And I believe Bitcoin BTC is captured by the CIA or something, or by the bankers. Like it's clearly sabotaged to not actually solve the problem.
That's it, and, it's self-evident. It's been co-opted. The narrative has been bastardized. The technology has been crippled and hijacked. Hijacking Bitcoin, a fantastic read if anybody listening out there.
Fantastic read. I highly recommend people read it if you haven't, and most of us probably have. But yeah, we
no longer have to.
End the Fed.
to end the Fed, we can make the Fed irrelevant.
The motto there, like end the Fed.
That's right.
At this Ron Paul birthday bash. So
we need to start a new chant of make the Fed irrelevant, and we have that opportunity to do that with Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't end them, just make them irrelevant.
Exactly.
Just ignore them completely.
Exactly. Go do whatever you want with your fake monopoly money. We'll start our own. So
yeah, and so we should start like spending Bitcoin Cash, sending it to our friends. I don't know, like
that's it.
Figure out ways to just start using it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
More and more every day. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Steve.
Calin.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not too tired and I wasn't rambling too much. But thank you.
I don't know. I have more questions than I had before we started this interview.
Sorry, man. Maybe we should do something again where we're both better. I'm better rested.
It's all good. You're speaking in languages that are very foreign to me.
Yeah, I think I have to figure out how to break this down in a simpler way.
It's all good.
I don't have that much experience like doing interviews, so
it's all good, man. I appreciate the knowledge that you drop every time you speak. I enjoyed both of your talks at Bliss the last 2 years. So, and I'm assuming you will be there again next year. So
may not be in Ljubljana, but yes, I will be at Bliss wherever it is. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks again, man.
Thank you.
Have
Steve.
a great evening. Appreciate your time.